So, our theme this month, we just started, is mystical marriage. And we're not talking about the marriage of two people, but about building a loving and lasting relationship with spirit. That's what mystical marriage is all about. Ernest Holmes describes mystical marriage this way. It's the union of the soul of man with the soul of God and the unity of all life. The soul of man, the soul of God, and the unity of everything. Last week, Reverend Patty focused on the I do's that we say to spirit in that mystical marriage. Surrendering to that small picture that we have of ourselves to that larger picture of God that God has planned for us. Of course, I said my big I do last weekend at my graduation ceremony. Really felt that powerful experience. So wonderful. And thank you all. I do want to take a moment to thank you all for your support through this. I could not have done it without you. I've felt your love all the way through. Thanks. But today, I'm backing up a little bit, and I want to talk about the stage that happens before the I do's at the altar. Right? It's the stage of wooing. I love that word, and I love being wooed. The stage of courtship. I want to look at our courtship with spirit, or say cosmic courtship. Great title. So what is courtship? Well, one tongue-in-cheek definition I heard was this. Courtship, a man pursuing a woman until she catches him. I also think it could be the other way around. A woman pursuing a man until he catches her. Works both ways. But it's an old-fashioned concept, this, courtship. The dictionary describes it as a period in a couple's relationship which precedes their engagement, and it's the time for the couple to get to know each other to decide if there will be an engagement, right? It says traditionally it is the role of a man to actively court or woo a female, encouraging her to understand him and determine if she is receptive to the proposal of marriage. So that's the official description. Back in Victorian times, if you've ever watched Downton Abbey, right? When women were not allowed to speak directly to men in mixed company, the Victorian women had to get creative. And so what they devised was an elaborate system of codes to signal the men their interest and availability using hand fans. So here's the code. If the lady wasn't interested, she would simply rest her fan on her left cheek. If she was fanning slowly, that meant she was already taken, don't bother. If she was fanning quickly, she's in the market. And if she rests it on her right cheek, she's interested, so go for it. Tricky. The Welsh had a different custom. Since at least the 17th century, they have exchanged love spoons, which I happen to have as a gift. Intricately hand-carved wooden spoons as signs for romantic intentions. So the young men would spend hours expertly crafting it, uniquely crafting it, so they could offer it to the women of their dreams. And if the girl accepted the spoon, the courtship was on. So how many have spoons in their house? I've been courted. In fact, my husband and I laugh about our courting days. You know, we went to plays and concerts and baseball games and county fairs, which just started. But we ended up talking all the way through all of those experiences. I mean, they were just kind of like busy backgrounds for us, learning about each other and telling stories about how we became who we are for each other. And nowadays, couples don't really date, much less court each other. They hook up with tweets and texting. But the feelings of new love are still there no matter what you call it, right? I mean, go back to your first love. Right? That feeling of being absolutely delightfully surprised by another person, just fascinated by them, impatient to see them again. Right? That feeling that, the stars are aligned just for us to have found each other. And that time of cultivating a relationship, as we say in religious science, planting the seeds for love to bloom. Young love. Okay, y'all got it? You got it in your... Okay, now, imagine having that kind of experience and that kind of relationship with spirit. That same feeling of joyful anticipation about what's next. What can we create together? That delight, the surprise, the discovery. And the truth is, Spirit already feels that way about us. Spirit is already courting each of us. We might define this courtship as Spirit pursuing all of us until we catch Spirit. Or each of us pursuing Spirit until it catches us. That pursuit and embrace. A delightful two-step courtship dance. Back and forth. Give and take. And spin, spin, spin. Right? And like any dance, it needs to be learned through trial and error and lots of practice. And there's bound to be missteps and stumbles at times in this courtship dance with Spirit. That's when our judgments, our old beliefs and patterns and ego selves, they trip us up. But thankfully, we have the best and most forgiving dance partner in the entire world because it's God, right? Mystics like Meister Eckhart and Rumi wrote love poems attempting to put into words this mystical relationship with the divine. Meister Eckhart put it this way: I could not bear to touch God with my own hand when he came within my reach, but he wanted me to hold him. How God solved my blessed agony, who can understand? He turned my body into his. And don't let those pronouns, it could be he or she or it, all the way through. I'm going to read it one more time. I could not bear to touch God with my own hand when he came within reach, but he wanted me to hold him. How God solved my blessed agony, who could understand? He turned my body into his. That's love. That's what love looks like. And one of my favorites from Rumi, if God said, Rumi, pay homage to everything that has helped you to enter my arms, there would not be one experience in my life, not one thought, not one feeling, not one act I would not bow to. If God said, Rumi, pay homage to everything that has helped you to enter my arms, there wouldn't be one experience, one thought, one feeling, one act that we wouldn't bow to. Paying homage to God, homage to everything. One of the stories that the Hindus tell about Brahma, the god of creation. There was a time when nothing existed in the world except for the god Brahma, and he was terribly bored because there was nothing else in the world but him. So he created a beautiful goddess, named her Maya, to be his playmate and to play with him. So Maya suggested they play a very intricate game that involves creating the entire universe. The sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, the animals, the humans. And Brahma agreed and created it all just the way that Maya had directed him. And then Maya announced, all right, time to start the game. And she cut Brahma into 1,000,000 different pieces. Okay? And she took each piece and put it in a human. And then she said, here's the game. I'm going to make you forget what you are, and you're going to try to find yourself. Quite the game. Like a cosmic game of hide and seek, right? Brahma's searching, trying to remember who he is. He's there inside of us, but Maya is stopping us from remembering who we really are. Oh, those tricky gods. But this is what we know. No matter how often we forget the truth of our divinity, our soul remembers. Our soul remembers. It never forgets. And it's always calling us into a greater connection with our cosmic suitor, right? Our divine wooer. Always calling us to that. We have that innate desire that drives us through our life. An invisible force within us that's always guiding us, kind of this internal GPS. And it's a force that's just gently pushing and pressing in to enlarge us, to make us bigger, calling us to be more, to allow more, to live more, and to remember who we are. This is how Ernest Holmes described it. We know by intuition that there is something beyond what we have so far consciously experienced in this world. Nothing can dislodge this inner intuitive perception of our mentality. For this is God in us knowing himself. Intuitively, we know there is something beyond what we have experienced so far. Nothing can dislodge it, because it is God in us knowing himself. Isn't that powerful? Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that comforting to know? So I had a powerful experience of that divine connection many years ago, but it remains so vivid today. And in fact, it really is a grounding memory for me. It remains that way. It was early on my spiritual journey, and I had just learned about meditation. I had just started a meditation practice. It was a time in my life when I guess the only way you could describe it is I was full of angst. That's a good word, angst. I was struggling with doubts and fears and pain, fresh from a broken relationship and facing the prospect of a change in career, and just generally wrestling with those deep questions of what's my meaning? What's the meaning of life? Why am I here? So during my meditation one day, I suddenly felt what could only be described as a presence sitting right next to me. And it was so strong that I actually, even with my eyes closed, kind of turned to it to see. And in my mind's eye, I could see this figure of light just filling the space next to me. And suddenly I was overwhelmed with this incredible energy of love that was radiating off of it. It was like a blanket just wrapping around me, just so loving, so warm. And I just sat there, as I sat there just bathed in this love, I was suddenly aware of another emotion that was part of this energy. It was a longing with a tinge of envy. And I thought, okay, that's weird. What would this magnificent energy, this embracing love, possibly want that I have? What does it need? And I realized it was actually envious of my angst. The very angst I had, there was this, wow. That array of feelings that I had, right? Both positive and negative. The joy, the fear, the love and the loss, all of it. There was a longing, there was a specialness, there was a feeling of, you are so lucky. You're so lucky. You're so lucky to have the experience of this body, of this life, of this range of emotions. Everything that comes with it. just a visceral level, I felt the preciousness of life. That deep, abiding gratitude of everything that makes up this human experience. Can you feel that with me? Yeah. I'm so lucky. We are so lucky to be, to feel, to live. What a gift. And what a remarkable experience for me to have. That's why it's still so dear to me. And imagine my delight when I came across a writing from a Franciscan friar in the 15th century who had what could only be described as a similar experience for him to be able to write this. It was Friar Giovanni Giocondo, wrote this in 1513. Life is so generous a giver, but we, judging its gifts by their covering, cast them aside as ugly or heavy or hard. Remove the covering, and you will find beneath it a living splendor, woven of love, by wisdom, with power. Welcome it, grasp it, and you touch the angel's hand that brings it to you. Everything we call a trial, a sorrow, or a duty, believe me, the angel's hand is there. The gift is there, and the wonder of an overshadowing presence. Life, such a generous giver. Yet we judge those gifts. We judge it as heavy or hard, as a trial or a sorrow or as a duty. But in fact, by embracing that, we are holding the hand of the angel that brought it, provided by that overshadowing presence in our life. So aren't we lucky to be here, sharing this experience of this human body? Just so blessed. And aren't we lucky to be in constant courtship with Spirit? Because that's what this is all about. Ernest Holmes reminds us, we were born to be happy, to be abundantly supplied with every good thing, to have fun in living, to consciously unite with the divine power that's around us and within us, and to grow and expand forever. Right? We're born to have this, born to be happy, to be abundantly supplied, to have fun, and then to consciously unite with that divine presence and power that is all around us as well as within us as we grow and expand forever. Powerful words, powerful thoughts. So I just invite you to close your eyes and just take a moment to let all these words and images and ideas settle into your heart. Expanding, growing within you. And feeling the universal energy flowing through you. The infinite intelligence thinking through you. The divine love loving through you. Knowing this partnership is the very essence of life itself, in all of its individualized, unique, and beautiful forms, experiences, expressions. This precious life is God's life, always seeking a greater expression of itself, of its peace and power, of its wisdom and wholeness, balance and beauty, love and light. And I know this divine spark at the center of our being guides, guards, and directs us as we move through our days, providing all that is needed to fully live the life that we are each being called to. How lucky we are. So blessed. So with hearts overflowing with gratitude for this knowing, this gift of life itself, I joyfully release these words into the law. knowing them, allowing them to be, and so it is. So this week, I invite you to just go ahead and fan the flames of love, dance with spirit in that two-step of pursuit and embrace, and let the cosmic courtship begin. All right? Thank you so much.
Well, let it begin. Let's celebrate the words of this beautiful Reverend Phillips over here.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way.
Come on, you know this song. Come on.
Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Said it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Ooh, yeah. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. One more time. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day.
Woohoo! Yeah. Bright. And it is blue sky. Look at the sun. Woohoo! We brought it in. Wonderful. Nathan Fry and Janice Edwards. Thank you so much. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now is our time for giving thanks, our opportunity to give and receive. And so I just invite you to financially contribute to this wonderful, worthy community of such loving souls. We are Vision. Yeah. Your tithe and donation, of course, keep the lights on, keep us moving, keep us here to support you. We believe in a reciprocal universe that responds to our intentions, and our intentions are big. So we give bigly. Bigly. I'm making up words now. So this is the appropriate place to give if you receive your spiritual support here. So I just invite you to hold your gift in your hand, maybe up to your heart, as we sing our praise hymn.
As I give, so do I receive, joyfully, gratefully. As I give, so do I receive, fully, freely. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. As I give, so do I receive, offering my first and best. As I give, so do I receive, knowing how I've been blessed. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. As I give, so do I receive, back to where my soul is fed. As I give, so do I receive, thank you for my daily bread. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. As I give, so do I receive.
And so giving thanks for these gifts of spirit that just keep on giving as we give back to Source. And I know that they continue to serve and to deepen and to reveal the divine life, seeking